This episode of the Jaguar Football Podcast is brought to you by Lorenzo's Tacos and Burritos, located at 1841 Old State Route 21, addicted to tacos. Hi everyone, I'm Carl Bierock. Welcome to week 12 of the Jaguar Football Podcast, and with us today, of course, is the head coach of the Seckman Jaguar football team, Dr. Nicholas Bear. Coach Bear, wonderful to see you, and such a great feeling going into the weekend, accomplishing one of the main goals that you set out this season.
Yeah, happy to be back for another week. This podcast was definitely not guaranteed, and that always brings a little bit of nervousness through the week for me. We're back. We get another week of football, another week of practice, and an opportunity to win a district championship. So I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, let's talk about how we get to that opportunity to play in the district championship. Friday, we had round 2 with Oakville. Seems like a very routine thing here in the Valley where we play Oakville twice. But there's nothing that is certainly routine about, taking the field and actually getting the job done.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of deja vu and very common opponent for us, honestly, becoming one of our quote unquote local rivals, you could say. And game kind of played out just like we thought it would. We knew it was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be back and forth. I always talk about don't get in the habit of opening up the newspaper and seeing a 34-7 box score and thinking that we just rolled to another one. It certainly wasn't the case. Our kids came out, they played their hearts out. Physical football game, and in the end, we scored more points. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, it was interesting because on the last podcast, you broke down some of your favorite playoff moments, and it was nice to kind of go back down that memory lane, so to speak. And then wouldn't you know it, the first drive of the game was more like a traditional Seckman drive that we're used to seeing.
I know, right? Yeah, we get out there, we're moving the football 7-8 minutes off the clock. Obviously, you get to that spot there, and you love to start the game with a score after taking 8 minutes off. But a couple false start penalties kind of put us behind, but yeah, definitely, coming out early, having one of our vintage type drives, knowing, we can continue to move the football if we execute was good. And then, they came out right away and went 3 and out, and boom, it's the second quarter. So, they ran 3 plays in the first quarter. So, obviously, if our offense is on the field and their offense is on the sideline, that's a good thing for us.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure the defense was, kind of feeling it toward the second half, being out on the field so long. And so, it was such a neat thing to see that old school Seckman, and then threw in some new wrinkles. And I know that you're going to be breaking down some plays for us, and looks like the first play that you have here set up is when we're on offense.
Yeah, talked a little bit about how the game started there. It 0-0 after the first quarter. This game was really one of those that can bust open either way. Each team needed that first big one, and this was that one for us. The defense just came out, got them 3 and out. We moved the ball all the way down the field. We get to a 4th and 2 or 4th and 3. We get the first down, but we get a holding call, and that brings us behind the sticks. And now we're in a situation where, 4th and 15. And honestly, I would say we don't have much in the playbook for that. But we have a few calls we like to make. And, when you look at the Oakville defense here, 2 high safeties, these guys are 15 yards deep. They weren't doing that the whole game. We tried to spread them out a little bit. So this concept here, you're going to see a little kind of a post curl route here. All right, you can see this huge void right here. That's what we're trying to find. And, we've ran this play maybe once or twice all year, and you rep it all season. You don't know when you're going to need it. And this was that moment, 4th and 15 in the second round of the playoffs where you do. So I'll go ahead and let it roll here. You'll see Kyler Huckfeld bust wide open. See him sit in that area. Boom, get the ball. Great football, great catch. Great execution. You have to go out there and get it done. Yeah, it's drawn up on paper, but those two had to go get it done. And honestly, I'm really proud of Kyler. He's a guy that, got a lot of playing time in the Parkway South game, stepped up for us. Those opportunities hadn't been there since. Turn around, his name gets called, and all of a sudden he's in the game, and now we're asking him to make the biggest play of the game up to that point. So fantastic job by him, and obviously sophomore quarterback Brody Kuby delivering the ball exactly where it needed to be. We get our first down. Okay, now it's okay. Now it's hey, we're down here. We can't mess around. We got to score, take care of our business. Little wrinkle onto this play that really kind of helped us out. You're going to see us put our wingback Ben Lewis in motion here. Okay, you're going to see what that does. That takes that corner out just a couple steps, and then he's not able to recover. We get a good out block here. We get a good out block here. Tyler Jackson does a good job right here. Linebacker is going to fill. Connor Day puts his body on him. All right. Definitely a whole play side, but you're going to see, all right, this backside linebacker blitz right here. Chris Pohl has his head up, does a great job, and you're going to see a hole you could probably drive a truck through. Boom. There it is. And that comes from the backside backer blitzing. That comes from our center, Chris Pohl, having his head up. So now we got this corner. He's taking 2 steps out this way. His head's trying to whip back to make the play. And now he's just out of position. And it's Brady Ambrose doing his thing. So huge execution there. Now we're up 7-0 in a game that, was tight, 0-0.
Yeah, huge play by far, and we've had a couple of those where a couple podcasts ago you talked about driving that F-150 through the hole. That was another great play, and you've highlighted this on the podcast throughout the season that it takes everybody to be on the same page for something like that to occur.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Connor is always out there, our offensive coordinator, drawing things up, and everything's great, on the board, everything's great on paper, but the boys have to go out and execute it. And when all 11 do, really good things happen for us. So,
this looks like we have another play from the other side of the ball here.
Yeah, a couple defensive plays. I mean, Oakville practices too. They've scored a lot of points this year. Our guys have to get out there and execute. You're going to see a good play here by our blood. Seth Maxwell making his read, getting down the hole, making a solid play. Guys putting their bodies on the line. Another little added wrinkle to this. They had kind of, if you remember, we're pushing, not really pushing us around, but hey, teams practice, they get first downs too. And so we decided to cut the offensive line on this play. So you'll see our D linemen, instead of coming up with their hands up and engaging, they're actually going to cut and they're going to go down to the ground. Well, that just takes the legs out of the offensive lineman, and that makes a clean read for our linebackers here. So you're going to see the cut. Everybody goes down. Huck's able to fill. Seth comes in, cleans it up. Great play by our defense there. Then same drive, very next play, I had mentioned, Oakville was moving the ball. Well, how are they moving the ball? Are they just beating us up front? Are they doing tricks? And it really kind of goes to this cat and mouse game, that's going on behind the scenes during a football game that you may not see in the stands. You'll see that Oakville, they like to do a lot of shifting, and this is something that they'd never shown before. But they'll take this tight end and they'll move him over here. They'll take this wing back, move him over here. So when they do that, our guys have to adjust. We got to flip to this side. They got to flip to this side. And you see a lot of bodies moving around. All right, well, watch what Oakville does this time. They fake like they're going to go, but then they go back. So now we didn't see that. This is the first time they did it. We didn't see it. So now what we actually have 3 defensive linemen on the same side of the football. They got us outgunned. So really good execution by them. Something that we didn't see at that exact moment. But, once we are able to review the film, get to the sideline, we were able to make adjustments. And I'll show you a little bit about that a little later on in the game. But this is how, now you can see the crease. Now they got a body on a body. Where is everybody? What's happening? Well, sometimes they outman you. Sometimes you get a little out coached in the game. And then you got to come back and play chess and get it done on the next one. So moved them to a third down. We had a huge play, and then this is just a huge 4th down stop. I've talked a little bit about linebacker Trent Huck already. 2nd string freshman tight end, not very good football player. To sophomore, same idea, not a lot of playing time. Junior on JV, then he steps up right here, makes the play of his life on a 4th and 1 when we're up 7-0 in the second round of the playoffs. They're going to try to run their blast play right downhill, right at him. We told him all week, this is the play, Huck. You got to give up your body, get in the hole. They're going to try to wrap their big tight end, 15. That's a big boy, big, strong guy, in to block him. Huck makes it happen. Fills the gap. Boom. 4th and 1. Ball goes to the Jaguars. Also want to highlight our free safety here. You see a lot of free safeties that don't want to get up into the play. And by the time, everything's wrapped up, they're sitting back here, they're watching. Yeah, that's not Jack Compton. Watch him on this play. 4th and 1. He knows what he has to do. Comes down. Not a lot of free safeties making the plays, as many plays at the line of scrimmage as he does. Huge 4th down stop for our defense. Offense gets the ball back. You know what to do. Brady Ambrose, big run, followed by a couple Rubel Ben Lewis things. And then here's everybody's favorite, Rhino, bringing in some of our defensive guys. Everybody within a country mile knows what's coming. Oakville knows what's coming. The guy getting a hot dog knows what's coming. Now you have to stop it. And not this time. So fantastic job executing, getting off the ball, getting the hole. Now you're off to a 14-point lead that we're able to carry back into halftime. So, really huge sequence of events there. They get a first down, they score at 7-7, right? And they keep going. We make that stuff, we make that play. It just seems to be going our way the last couple of years in those scenarios. And those are just situations where you really got to dig down deep and you guys got to get it done. And, I don't know, it's not really coaching. It's just the heart of our players. So really proud of them.
Tremendous job. And you nailed it. The people in the stands were literally calling for the Rhino or looking out for it. So that is the viral play of this season. So, perhaps in the seasons past, it was the B-dub-dub that you talked about a few months ago. This year seems to be the Rhino is the favorite out in the crowd there.
Yeah, it just takes what we do and kind of cranks it up a notch, and you get a couple of dudes like Dylan Lappy and Lucas Steiner out there. It's never a bad thing.
No doubt. And the results speak for themselves. So it looks like we have another defensive play here queued up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a play, really good, well-designed play by Oakville. They got us on it a little bit the first time we met them. They busted one on Northwest. They like to kind of get this out in their 3rd and long. So, it's definitely one we knew was coming. You're going to see a little screen play here. This guy's going to fake the bubble, get you moving this way a little bit, and then he's going to come right back underneath for the screen. These two guys are going to detach here. They're going to let us run upfield. He's going to detach here, come right to our sophomore puppy linebacker that was in there, Chase Borowski. But the big dog was ready to eat. He was ready to make a play. And fantastic job at execution. We'll let it run here a little bit. You see the screen come out, lineman release. At this point here, they're feeling pretty good. We got the kick out here. We get their double teaming our puppy dog here in Chase Borowski. He does a fantastic job as a sophomore linebacker. All right, splitting them both, getting in there, making a tackle. Really proud of him and just the way he continues to step up when he's needed. We talk about it a lot. We're playing a physical sport. Guys go down. We're calling on the next guy, and that was his turn Friday night. So great play there.
Yeah, it looks like we have another play on offense that you're looking to highlight.
Right. And, hey, that was one of those plays that got us into the locker room, right? Or that might have been right as we came out of the locker room, one or the other. But, it's 14-0 game. We made some adjustments at half, things we knew we wanted to do. And we had talked about, it's not always run left. It's not always run right. You see Coach Connor. If you've ever, if you watch our sideline, you see the monitor down there. You see the offense huddle around it. They're not watching, reruns of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air down there. They're talking football, and it's honestly one of the things that's helped this team get to the next level. One of the smarter teams, or one of the teams that's really been able to adjust on the fly and execute in the second half of games. We're not running the same exact schemes by the time we get to that second half. We're taking what they're giving us Sometimes we're drawing it up in the sand, and our guys are coming out and executing. And this is really one of those situations. Um, you know, I believe that I think you call this one. This one's kind of a word salad: blue wide, six double tunnel, dart seal. And that's got to get set all the way out to the huddle in a game of telephone. Sometimes I really wonder if it makes it all the way out there. Um, but it's one of those things. These guys, very good athlete here, starting to chase us down for the backside, and we get a good strong side block. He's chasing us down. Same idea here. This guy was shooting gaps a few times, so we need to make sure we got to get these guys blocked. So we switched our offensive linemen, and we're actually instead of we switched these two guys. So instead of this guy pulling around, now we're pulling the other guy. He's going to stay here and block, allowing him to pull up into the hole. Our quarterback here, typically, we're sending him out here to get up into the hole, block the corner. Well, now we're going to do it, seal it. He's going to come back and kind of cut off zero. And then you're just going to see Brady Ambrose do his thing. One of the best running backs I've had the opportunity of coaching in my time here. And big time players make big time plays on big time stages. That's him. Devin Gosser out here putting work in on the end, getting a pancake block. Ben Lewis doing his thing, sealing off his guy here. And then we're 73 yards to the house. See that seal block coming back. So see how that backside's not able to penetrate like they had been early in the game. Now we've got great play side push, break one tackle, make one guy miss, and your boy's out there doing his thing. Very proud of Brady. Fantastic play. That's what happens when 11 guys execute on a football play.
Yeah, I'd say that game or that play certainly broke open the game at that point. And it was just
we could all breathe a little bit, right?
Yeah. No, going in, I think was what
nice.
0-0 midway through, well, all through the first quarter, and then
Mm-hmm.
finally some action there. But yeah, I mean, tremendous play. The crowd was into it, and just those individual efforts that you keep talking about clearly on display for that play.
Yeah, we break a big one like that. It's party time too. Party time on the sideline. I don't typically turn around, but I'm imagining it's party time in the bleachers and the stands, or at least it ought to be.
Oh, trust me. I'll speak for the people in the stands. It was a good time, and yeah, it's like we watch these little highlights, and you could see the boys, like jumping up and down if the
Mm-hmm.
camera angle is just right. So, they're into it, the crowd's into it, and it was just an exciting play, and just great night of football to watch.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
All right, so it looks like we have another defensive play here.
Yeah, game's 20-0. It's not over. Oakville's still fighting to the last snap. So are we. Obviously, can let out the air a little bit, but there's still a lot of football to be played. And I kind of talked a little bit about, what Oakville was trying to do to us with their little fake shift. Got us once, had the opportunity to get our guys on the chalkboard, or I guess the dry erase board, during halftime. And hey, guys, this is what they're trying to do. So now you'll see these two guys shift. They'll fake the shift. You'll notice our guys don't move. We're able to readjust. Run sweep right at it. 2-yard gain. So, it's just part of that cat and mouse game, that's really happening the whole time between offenses and defenses and things like that. So, this one here, you're actually going to see them shift the whole way over. So instead of switching the ends now, we slid right over. Look, Oakville's a good football team. They practice. Their coaches scheme very well. And sometimes teams score. And this is that there. And, how did they get in? What's just a little breakdown. What do we talk about all the time with our corners? Holding that edge. And really, it looked like, for a second we had them stopped in here. Well, I'm seeing this. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Okay. But it's very important. Young corners. Hold your gap. Hold your water. Hold that gap. Hold your responsibility, because he's going to pop out right to you. But that number 3, he's a great running back. He's had a lot of success this season. Wasn't able to play in the first game. Glad he got a chance to play in this game. And we did a really good job of limiting him and really shutting him down for most of the game.
Yeah, certainly exciting, and again, that I saw that, seeing that play from the stands.
Mhm.
What you were talking about keeping your lane and protecting. I'm just like, oh boy, I
Yeah, you didn't have to
happen to
let him
know
know to
that
drive home
guy,
at least. So
but no, it was
you at least
great
waited a
individual
day to
effort.
let him know, right, Carl?
Uh, we had a little talk, put it that way. Uh,
Yeah, he's good. It was all. It was, hey, defense played a fantastic game. Allowing 7 points to a very high-powered offense like Oakville. 0 points the first time. Really good job. And then, hey, we're in a ball game, 20-7, moving it down the field. We finally catch a slant route once we get all of our contacts in. Now we're clicking. Everybody's favorite, Rhino comes out. We got a fit number 15 wearing a black jersey in the playoffs. So that's a little throwback there, and you got Chance Rubel scoring his first postseason touchdown. Great hole, great play, great stretch. I'll take a Rubel on a safety any day. So a really good job, way to execute. 27-7. Really great job. We ended up scoring again, 34-7. And this is just one of those, for posterity's sake, you want to hold the line. Last thing we want to do is end the game in the end zone. So we're playing to the last snap. Guys are battling all the way through. You know, you're going to see Dom LaGrasso. He had a huge fourth down stop on number 10 earlier on a very similar play where we thought he should have picked it. This time he does. Great play here, his third pick of the season. And this is one of those things where a defensive guy gets the football. He sees a quarterback is his only guy in the way. Hey, all the credit to number 9 here. All right, but get off the train track, son. The trains are coming. Great job, Dom. Great play by that kid, too, sticking his nose in there. But really fun play for Dom, leading our defense all season, icing it up, at the end of the game. So, Friday night, very physical football game, very memorable playoff win for our team. Definitely goes up there. It's only the 5th one we won in the history of our program in the month of November. We want one more.
Yeah, no doubt, because much like how we played Oakville the last 2 seasons like this, our next opponent is no stranger. And so we have the honor of playing Jackson at the Valley for the second year in a row. So I was wondering if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about Jackson for those folks not familiar. They are in our division, but they're way down south, so we may not get to see them that often or hear about them. But I was wondering if you could tell us about Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson is a team, they've ended our season 3 out of the last 5 years in the playoffs. And, we'll always, as long as we're always in the same class 6, which we kind of see for the foreseeable future, we're always going to have this run in. And these guys are going to be that team we want to get through to kind of crack that ceiling and win our first district championship. Jackson, very quality, solid program, state champs in 2020, consistently winning 9, 10, 11 games a year against some of the best competition in the state. And we've I guess you could say had the pleasure of seeing the things and what they're capable of doing the last few years. And, I know I speak for myself and the rest of the team that, we're excited to get another chance. When the clock ticked 0 on our season last year, this is the game, this is the moment that we were preparing for. And it took everything that we had to this point to get us right to this game. We had to beat Parkway West. We had to beat Fox. We had to run the table, get the district number 1 seed. We had to win conference. And then, really before we could start thinking about Jackson, we had to get through Oakville, which we knew was going to be tough, and it was, and we did. And now we got the game that we wanted, and if some folks out there, Seckman's 10-0, beat Oakville in the playoffs, playing, Jackson, at home in a district championship second straight year, it might seem like a little ho-hum or a little deja vu or, not as special. Well, folks, it's more special that we're doing it twice in a row. This is just not something that you get an opportunity to do. I feel extremely blessed. It could be another 5-6 years before we get this opportunity. We're planning on having a very solid week of practice, getting our boys in the mental state, physical state, to be proud of the game that we play on Friday.
Yeah, well said. As I met, even going into the bye week, you talked a lot about the mental aspect, and I imagine that theme carried on in preparation for Oakville, and certainly for those that were into the program last year. That maybe, that's something that they're, you're really drilling down into the boys. Just like, look, you guys got this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. We talked about mental toughness. I mean, look, Jackson's a team that for those of you that, yeah, I guess for those of you that don't know, they want to run a play at you every 10 seconds. They're going to move fast. When things are moving fast, where's your head at? We gave up a first down. Well, you got to go past it. We need to get the call. We need to execute the next play. Blinken and I, we were down 21-0 last year. It just happened so fast. It was a blur to our guys, and maybe even at times a blur to the staff. We're trying to get guys focused up, and if that's where we fell short last year was on the mental side. It's definitely something we spent a lot of time talking about this year, and it's one of those things. We've been down on the scoreboard for 0 minutes all year, 0. That's unheard of. No matter if you're 10-0, 9-1, most everybody's had to have had that comeback win, that moment of adversity. We just haven't. So, we've had to really talk to the boys and try to recreate that feeling, that feeling of being down and not out, because that's a situation we can find ourselves very easily in on Friday. And we have to keep battling and we have to keep executing. We got to be mentally tough to know that we can get back in the game. I mean, shoot. Anybody watch the Missouri game this past weekend against Oklahoma? I mean, I fell asleep on my couch. It was 16-9. I woke up. It was 30-23. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And I'm going through the stats. I'm like, and I'm watching the replays. I'm like, oh my goodness. Mizzou's down and out. Very easy. Down 23-16 after giving up a fumble return for a touchdown. And then, they couldn't gain a first down all game. And then all of a sudden they drive 75 yards. The quarterback kept them in it. And then, hey, now it's a tie game. We're still not giving up. And then they get their own fumble return for a touchdown. And they win. So, that's going to be something that we're really beating into the kids this week mentally. We're in this football game. Don't focus so much on the J on the helmet. The team that's knocked us out 3 of the last 5 years in pretty convincing fashion. It's a one-on-one battle. Look at the guy across from you. That's your focus. Your job. You're executing your job that play. And guess what? Sometimes you're going to win it. Sometimes you're going to lose it. Sometimes you're going to stalemate it. And whatever happens, you got to be ready to get ready for the next play and the next one-on-one battle. And that's just what it's going to be a game of. And, I hope our boys are ready for Friday night. I know the coaches are excited. This is the biggest game in the history of our football program. And we're going to prepare for it.
Well, I can tell you from the fan standpoint, we're so excited. We like to wear the that side of the screen there, the 7 letters on our chest as well as we go out there, and just want to make that statement. Show up, fans. We want you there. We need you there. This is a great historical night. You got to be there, and we certainly look forward to having the stands packed once again for our second playoff game.
Cheapest $6 show in town.
Oh, by far, no doubt about that. And even appreciate you going through all the plays and speaking with passion about where you wanted this team to be and what you expect of the boys coming up here in just 4 short days. So we appreciate you, and good luck to the boys and your staff as you take on Jackson. So just a reminder to everybody, we're going to have more content and more updates being pushed out all this week. So be sure to like and follow our Facebook page. And I know you probably already done some talking toward it, but right. Wanted to give you one other opportunity here to close us out as we go into our district final.
Yeah, huge thank you to all the parents, the community, administrators, students, anybody that supported us this year and helped us get to this point. I know I hit it on it earlier, but just because we're doing it 2 years in a row doesn't make it any less special. It makes it more. And, it's going to hopefully be a night that, I'll be talking about for a very long time. And very proud of everything we have done to this point, all the work and the sacrifices that families and players have made this year to get us here on Friday night. And we're going to make sure that we're proud of the game that we put forth on Friday and walk off the field together.
All right, Coach. Well, I thank you, and certainly, again, best of luck to you and the staff and the boys, and Roll Jags, of course, and look forward to seeing you, perhaps hold up that plaque there and get that elusive district championship. So we're all in, and we will see the fans at the Valley 7 o'clock on Friday. Look forward to it. And Coach, thank you so much again for your time today. We greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.